you so much for joining me. I want to share something that went pretty viral, something that did not completely shock me. I'm a little bit late talking about it, but look who I have up on the screen. You see the title. Little girls want to listen to Sexyy Red. Am I really shocked? I had said before in a previous video that I've come to the conclusion that most of Black America loves filth. The only reason that Sexyy Red and Sukihana and women like her are popular is because that is who Black people love as the face of the so-called culture. You cannot explain to me, well, can you explain to me why Coco Jones is not popular? Or women like Toni Braxton, and I know the whole Birdman thing, that's a whole nother video, but you get what I'm saying? For little girls to look up to. Now, no little girl should be listening to grown and sexy music, even if it is by classy R&B singers who are grown women. So I'm going to be quiet for right now. Let me show you this clip and we're going to talk about it.
I'm calling out all the parents. If you're a parent and your child is in pre-K to elementary school to high school, I'm calling you out. The children today, I have never experienced, and I'm 22. Having to teach and work with you guys as children has been the most traumatic experience of my life. I teach 5-year-olds ballet. 5-year-old girls ballet. I have a class of 10 students. They don't respect any authority. You ask them, can you stand in your designated spot? They're telling you no and shut up. They're throwing things at each other. They're throwing things at other people, other classmates. You say, can everybody sit in their spot? I don't want to. I'm not doing that. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my mom. You confront the parent. The parent tries to argue with you and fuss at you because you tried to reprimand and redirect their kid. I told a young little girl, please sit in your spot. You're not my mom. You don't tell me what to do. Okay. When her mom came to pick her up, I said, hey, your daughter's having a hard time following instructions. And 7 times today, I've had to redirect her to just sit in her spot. Well, clearly she didn't want to sit. And mind you, this is a mom. Clearly she didn't want to fucking sit right there. So, I mean, if she's telling you she don't want to do something, why keep asking her to do it? You know she's not going to do it. What world do we live in? Like, what in you guys' brain as a parent says, my kid not following any directions is a great thing. It's not that serious. And y'all don't have a right to tell her what to do. It's sad. It's sad. It's really, really sad. And another thing that's heart-wrenching is horrifying. It is horrifying. Your 5-year-old daughters are asking to listen to Pound Town and Sexyy. Your daughters, your 5-year-old daughters are asking, can we hear Pound Town? I'm playing them Princess Tiana ballet music. And they are asking me, can we hear Pound? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I'm so scared for these little girls today because this is the most insane agenda push I have ever seen in my life. We do freeze dance. You guys' daughters are twerking at 5. Where's the parenting? Where's the boundaries? Where's the help? Y'all are not helping your kids. You're hurting them. You guys are hurting them. I come every day dressed, ready to go, and I'm in school too. I'm in college. I mean, I put bows in my hair. I'm wearing leotards. I'm trying to get them interested in like proper things for their age, and you guys are exposing your kids to this raunchy secular music. Why is you guys' 5-year-old daughters singing Pound Town? And it's just really, 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 it's upsetting. And I feel so bad. And I've watched different techniques, soft skills, soft parenting, gentle parenting. I'm patient. I don't yell. I'll say, hey, let's regroup. If you guys need 5 minutes, let's do some breathing. Your kids are telling me to shut up. You guys as kids are saying, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. You're not my mom. They're putting they're hitting each other and hitting other kids. You address the parent. The parents are telling you, you don't tell my daughter what to do. It's not that bad. Well, at least she was in the class. At least. It's all these excuses. Y'all come in and you're more worried about what's going on your Instagram and TikTok feed versus being a parent. Be a fucking parent. You guys are horrible fucking parents. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but this generation of some of the mom, not all, but majority that I've dealt with kids that are between the ages of 5 and 4 and 3, you guys don't parent your children at all. They have no basic comprehension skills. They can't sit still. No attention span. They're hitting people. They can't talk. They can't communicate. They don't even know how to say, like, I want to go to the bathroom. If you ask them a question, they're rude, nasty, horrible attitudes at 5, and they want to hear Pound Town. What are you guys doing with your kids? What are you guys literally doing with your kids? Because I have never in my life experienced something so horrible. I literally don't even want to teach ballet to you guys' kids anymore because they are so hard to work and deal with. And I literally see why the teachers are quitting and your kids are getting expelled and kicked out, because it's no way, it is literally no way that this is happening and you guys don't see any issue with it. I tell you, your kid hit someone and you're saying, well, what the fuck did the little bitch do to my daughter to make her want to hit? Nothing. Literally nothing. Your daughter just decides she wants to put her hands on people and you don't correct her. You're yelling at me, asking me, why does she feel like she wants to hit? What parenting is happening? You guys are worried about seafood boils and dates and fucking like partying and being a hot mom. You guys are shitty moms and it needs a change. Stop listening to Sexyy Red around your children. Talk to your kid, interact with them, teach them, listen to them. Teach them to respect authority. Don't say you don't have to listen to anyone unless they're me. Your kids are so horrible and hard to deal with, and I'm blaming the parents because they have horrible guidance. And it needs to be a change. And I'm asking, can somebody's mom stitch me and say like what the holdup is? What is the issue? Why are you listening to raunchy music around your kids? Why is it that you have to deal with certain people and be rude about it? Why can nobody correct your kid or help them get on a better track? And why do you guys approve and applaud bad behavior? Why? Because I'm telling you, all the teachers that are good and have genuine interest in building your kid, I want to help them. I want to help these little girls realize that they are precious, that they have purpose, that they're beautiful, that they're smart and intelligent, and that they can be somebody. I don't want to see little 5-year-olds trying to twerk to Pound Town. And you guys think that it's cute. And I'm coming on here because it needs to be a change. So please tell me, as an educator, a teacher, and I'm just a ballet teacher. I'm not a regular trained institutional teacher. I'm teaching 5-year-olds ballet, and these are all the problems starting now, and it's no change happening. So what needs to be done and happen to fix this issue? Please, somebody tell me, somebody make it make sense. Because I'm telling you, I'm this close to quitting and saying I'd never want to work with people's kids again, because this has been the most horrible experience. I've never dealt with an experience like this. Listening to raunchy music around your kids needs to stop. Applauding bad behavior needs to stop. Not giving your kid your attention but throwing an iPad at them or a tablet because you don't want to parent needs to stop. I'm coming on here and I'm begging you guys, I'm asking you to really please make a change. Make a change. Your kids' lives are depending on it for y'all to make a change.
Okay. You know, I got some things to say. I first want to say that it's not an agenda. It's simply bad parenting. And I actually wrote her when I first saw this because I asked her, what's the culture these little girls come from? Their people, their culture. And she didn't write me back. Maybe she got a bunch of people who wrote her, maybe didn't even see that I wrote her. But I already know the answer. I know deep within my soul, I know what it is. We know what it is. I just wanted the confirmation from her. But I know because I have seen this already years ago. I told y'all in one of my old videos when I went to a festival, the little black girls came out and started dancing inappropriately in front of the crowd as a performance to Lil Wayne. And the song was Sexyy. And I couldn't believe it. There were a few other black people in shock and others who just stood there and watched. And I walked away. I wanted to cause a scene, but I didn't. And say, what the hell is this? What is this? It was amazing to me and disgusting. You have your little girls dancing to Lil Wayne saying sexual lyrics, dancing a certain way with grown men in the crowd. Have you lost your mind? And when you see videos like this, now look, not all black mothers are the same. And there are look, if I'm wrong on my assumption on what culture, race, whatever these children are, these little girls, I'll apologize. But I know. But I will say a lot of kids are out of control, though, too. I went somewhere and I saw little white children cursing out loud. There weren't a lot of adults around, but I still couldn't believe it because when I was little, look, I don't know what's going on with a lot of black mothers these days, but when I was little, you got checked. You didn't interrupt adults' conversations without saying, excuse me. You kept your legs closed wearing a dress, a skirt. Okay? You got out of line. Your lip was going to get smacked. Or that belt can come out. Now, I'm not saying that's the first answer. You know, there's a lot more black people today that are anti getting the belt. And there are some people who feel that's the problem. That's why a lot of your sons and daughters don't know how to watch their mouth and you don't check them. And you got to get that belt if you have to. But I mean, a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, I'm not saying that's always the answer, but clearly there is a lack of parenting going on where your children, you haven't taught them to respect their teacher. And then the parents who came in, she said, got smart with her. I believe that this might be the women who are, look, people will bring up the daddy. We know most of the time the women are raising the kids. And I hate to see and hear stuff like this because it gives some men ammunition who have said, black women are the worst mothers to have. They can't raise children. They're disrespectful, all that other stuff. But the men listen to it too. They got the little boys listening to it. I told you one time I was walking home and the little boy said, when you going to give me some of that pee? I looked at him like, what? And then there was a little boy who called me a B. When I was going to my home, he called me a B. He was with a group of grown black men. None of them little boys checked him. You don't call a lady a B. What's wrong with you? So there is a lot of lack of parenting. But like I said, you'll have black people who will say, it's an agenda. There will always be sexy reds and Sukianas running around. Black people and all people are not the same. The question becomes, y'all gonna make a choice. You either gonna give up parts of black culture, you gonna start rejecting the sexy reds, at least with your own children, And you're going to start embracing more classier, better images of Black women and promoting their careers more, and stop making sexy reds popular and obsessing and talking about them on the Shade Room. And I'm not coming for the Shade Room, but the Shade Room is the most popular Black media. You know, it is one of them. You know, obsessing over them, always going on and on about how bad they are. There have always been scandalous or raunchy Black women. Why do you, and then y'all love to go talk about them over and over like they represent all Black women, and the Black women that are classy and feminine don't get no shine because you're trying. I mean, it ain't going to happen. All Black women acting like that. So you're going to have to push them out and kind of shun them like other communities do to their trash. Y'all don't want to take out the damn trash. I've said that before. That doesn't mean you got to bully her or try to. Look, you don't have to, like that whole Krishan thing. Let's make them example. Let's try to fix them. No, push them to the side and give another Black woman in the industry some promotion and a chance. That's how you do that. And take control over what your children are listening to. Because I have heard people, and it's true, sometimes Black girls get over sexualized. I can't say certain words on here. You know, oh, why they call us fast? They always accusing of us, don't be fast, she too fast. Yes, that does happen. But what can I say when y'all are making them fast in these type of situations? You're making your little girl twerk in front of little boys and girls. And these boys are going to hit puberty. They're going to start getting erections and want no girl. You know it. And then you're going to end up with all these teenage pregnancies and stuff. And if y'all not even teaching your children basic stuff at 3 and 4, she says they don't even know how to communicate. And 5 years old and 6 and 7, they can't communicate, she said. It like there's something wrong. Because the mamas they're not developing them. I'm like, what if that? Look, I have heard some men on TikTok saying that the hygiene is even getting worse. Now, when I heard that, I'm like, okay. But when I hear stuff like this, I'm like, if you can't even teach your daughters and sons, but these are little girls at ballet, basic stuff, I know you ain't even teaching her how to wash. I know I'm going left a little bit, but that's what my mind thinks too. If you neglect your daughter, I can assume you neglect teaching her how to clean herself, you know. But let me stay on topic, okay? You know, and you do grow. You know, little kids don't always listen. The older you get, your hygiene gets better and all that other stuff. But you get what I'm saying? Teaching, you know. So, again, I'm not surprised at all. And she's absolutely heartbroken. She's disgusted. She doesn't feel like teaching no more because you can't even tell the parents nothing. You would think you could say, tell them what's the problem. And the mother would say, okay, I'm going to get a handle on it. I'm going to teach her to respect you, not putting her hands on people. You know, I saw it growing up. You have different types of Black girls, but you do have some who want to fight you like a boy, teasing you, bullying you, putting their hands on you. And from what I'm hearing from her, they're raising them little girls to be masculine, fighting, hitting, rough, a smart mouth. And they do this with their sons too. Yeah, that's why when the police get him, instead of him shutting his mouth, following directions, he want to keep yelling and screaming, knowing damn well what can happen. Going off, talking and yelling, you ain't gonna do this. I ain't gonna be quiet. Oh my God, he threw me to the ground. You know, a big mouth and emotional, a temper, not logical, all that stuff. It all goes together. So this does not apply to all Black mothers and children, but it does exist. We've seen it. Please, we've seen it. And, I'm happy she made this video. Do I think she says time for a change? She says, let me see. She said, how are we going to fix this? You can't fix it with half of them. You can't, because we're not in the household. The only way you're going to be able to fix some of them, you're going to have to force it like a damn police military officer. It's just not going to happen for half. The mothers have to step up. that are raising these little girls who are acting this like this, and their sons and the fathers too. But if I had said before why this is not working, if you have two broken people with a horrible mentality coming together making babies, the baby is doomed from birth. And it's an ongoing cycle over and over because they come from parents who have that mentality. So how can you fix something? How? They just keep getting with each other, making kids. And they don't want to hear nothing. The only answer for Black people is a separation. And I said before, even within a separation, you're going to have more separations because you got a lot of Black people who want to tell you what to eat, what religion to have, what being Black is, how you should wear your hair, all this other stuff. So it's always going to be an issue, you know. But the fact that Sexyy Reds has become the face of Black American culture is a problem. That's why I said yesterday with the whole Lenny Kravitz thing. Lenny, Tracy Chapman, country Black singers need to be embraced within Black America. This whole toxic hip hop shit got to go. Most of it. Y'all gonna have to make a choice. But y'all, a lot of Black people, they don't want to let it go. They think this is being Black. And it's in your household. Now, I'm not saying that other kids who are also influenced by hip hop, they ain't no bad kids and who do some of this stuff like that. But this runs rampant in the Black community. It does. It does. Now, it's not always the case, but it's a significant amount. Okay? Your children don't need to be listening to grown music. You know, read a book. Get your kids some Dr. Seuss books and some other books and read to them. Make them read. Don't put a TV in their room. Have them reading. Okay? Have them reading. There's a lot of stuff that I see. Your little girl don't have to be in designer stuff and the flyers. She's a little girl. No one cares about that when you're 5 and stuff. There ain't no shame in shopping at a thrift store or Kmart, Walmart. Who gives a damn? I mean, if you can dress and make a cute outfit, make it. Maybe I'm going off subject, but I'm just saying, okay? So she mentioned that it's pre-K, elementary, and a little bit in high school. And you can't even discipline these children. You can't. When she mentioned a lot of teachers are quitting. Yeah, I've seen the videos, and I hate to I see it with a lot of Black children. I'm not saying there are no other races, but the bulk of the videos I've seen breaking a teacher's legs, Black girl, a boy calling a Black woman a B in front of a bunch of Mexican students. I'm like, just look at this crap. Look at it. Look at it. This is what happens when there is no structure and discipline in the home. And sometimes the mother is disciplining, but when it comes to a boy, he need a man to check him. Because, you know, he gets testosterone, you raising up on him, you a woman, it ain't that threatening to him. You know, your son is bigger than you and stronger than you. I've heard the stories of them whooping their mama's butts up in the house. Okay. But the thing is, if the father ain't nothing in his mentality, then it's doomed. So that's also a problem. Okay. He got to check him and not just yelling in the child's face. You know, with Black parents, the answer is not always because I said so. Y'all grew up hearing it when your mama or daddy, or usually your mama whooped you and you said, why you get whooped or why this? The answer was because I said so. I think you need to explain to your children why. Explain cause and effect. Explain why it was wrong, not just because I said so. Okay, you have to, I had said before, money ain't going to fix this problem. Child support ain't going to fix the money, the government money. No, this is a cultural morality culture problem. That's what it is. If I had children, you not listening to no damn Pound Town or Ski You and twerking. I would be ashamed to see my little girl twerking. Absolutely not. You know, absolutely not. So there have been a mixture of responses, but we already know what it will be. It will be 50-50. You'll have half of Black women on board. Yes, we got to stop this. And then you're going to have half who said it's not that serious. They're just little. Oh, mind your business, this and that. I have seen it how promoting being classy is a problem now. You know, when a Black woman professional, I forgot her occupation, she said, do not show up to my office with bonnets. And they said she was classist. She had an attitude. She was wrong. No, I'm a professional. Stop coming up in here like you just woke up out of bed in your pajamas. Stop showing up to your school, your children's school meetings in a bonnet. Stop going grocery shopping in the middle of the afternoon and at night in pajamas and slippers. And I've seen a few white women do it too, and I don't understand it. I mean, sometimes there could be an emergency or something, but absolutely not. I had just said yesterday or the day before yesterday, there was a time when classiness was the thing for Black women during the 1920s and 40s, okay? We remember, well, I wasn't alive then, but you know, glamour, gloves, pin curls, beautiful makeup that didn't look crazy and stuff, beautiful, nice dresses. Y'all turned to hip hop culture, which was Black men's creation. At one point, it was a little different. Then it went left very quickly. And I said before, y'all ain't been the same as a so-called community since. Hip hop is a problem at large. Yes, I like some rap songs. I do not like extreme toxic rap songs. I like a lot of the music beats. I love instrumentals. And, you know, I'm not saying everything will be perfect. I'm not saying it's a crime to like some rap music, but stop making this the face for Black women and men. But we're talking about Black women. Absolutely not. I want to see y'all make some Coco Jones and Toni Braxton popular again. Beautiful love and R&B. Classy, beautiful dresses, glamour. Okay? Again, Sexyy Red ain't going nowhere, or Sukiana's, as long as Black people keep obsessing over them and making them more popular than the other women because y'all actually love it. They're popular because of y'all, no one else. Y'all now seen it 1,000 times. Why you got to keep bringing them up constantly? Women like that, y'all think you gonna change all Black women. It's not reality. Promote the Black women who are not the Sexyy Reds. Promote them. That's how you do it. And make it very clear, Black women, because a lot of y'all are afraid to do it. Anytime you talk about a Black woman, some Black women come for you as if we got to support every damn Black woman just because she's Black. Absolutely not. And a lot of you who are religious, who say you're Christians, even your own Bible told you to separate. So are you willing to do it? And I'm not talking about being super religious. I'm just saying something basic. Separating from the Sexyy Reds and Sukianas. Can you do it? Do you got the strength? Do you want it? Do you want the world to see a different type of Black woman promoted and go back to being glamorous and dominating like the 1980s and 90s? And I'm not saying that some raunchiness never existed then, because I've said I like some Little Kim songs, not all of them, but it's reached the pinnacle. It's gotten worse than what we've ever seen before. And it's affecting your little girls, your so-called community. So it's up to y'all. Every generation gets worse because the previous generation allowed it. It doesn't just happen out the blue. It's a process. You saw the train coming and you didn't stop the train or get the kids away from the train before it came. They got on the train and you're left with what you're left with. So if it gets worse and worse and worse, that's because Black people allowed it and didn't want to check it and face reality. The trash ain't going nowhere in any community. That's why other communities have names for their trash versus them that they don't want representing them. I'm not saying that, I don't want it to sound the way it sounds, but you get what I'm saying. Perfection does not exist, so let's not pretend that. But y'all gonna have to take a hold over this. A lot of men ain't gonna say nothing the way, Sexyy Red and them be acting and stuff. They want to sleep with women like that, a lot of them, who are openly raunchy and stuff. Don't be fooled by anything a lot of them say, believe me. It's going to be the black woman who's going to have to check and take a stand. You know? I don't want to keep seeing black women online. Oh, my Sexyy Red. Oh, y'all keep talking. Like, she stopped talking about her and criticizing and going over and over. She's not going to stop. So go to someone else and make her popular. Promote her. Ask the Shade Room. I want a bunch of y'all black women, 500, write the Shade Room and say, can you please start talking about Coco Jones more, Victoria Monet, Mariah the Scientist. I mean, I don't know all if they not real raunchy and stuff, you know. Could you talk about them a little bit more and stop pushing Sexyy Red and Sukihana's? Y'all have that power, you know, and I get tired when I see like the Umar Johnsons and stuff. Yeah, they'll criticize stuff that they do at award shows, but it's like, and I get it. I mean, you're stepping up by saying something. But why come there isn't also a campaign for rappers to be checked? These images of them and how they treat women, how they dress, how they destroy their community, how they harm other black men. Why don't you shun them too? So it goes both ways, but we're talking about the women. But your little girls, step up. Y'all better do something because this is not appropriate. It's not right. And you're over-sexualizing your daughters and you're destroying them. You're destroying your daughters. You are. Twerking in public. I'm embarrassed when I've seen so many black women doing this, even politicians. What the hell is wrong with y'all? In the house is different with my man or my privacy in my home to a song, but I don't twerk. You get what I'm saying? I know other groups of people do stuff. They're not all perfect, but they have something called dignity. More dignity to go out in the public and act a certain way. And then y'all get mad when these stereotypes come out. And it is frustrating when there are a number of black women who do not act like that. But if a lot of black women don't say nothing and are quiet, and Sexyy Reds is the face of the culture that's promoted more than anybody, I'm looking at the so-called community. Why didn't you flush her out and promote and market other women and ask to see them more and talk about them more? And I'm not going to have Sexyy Reds and Sukihana's ruining my damn image globally. And I'm tired of people acting like we're all like them. No, we're not. So that's all I want to say for this video. And people make mistakes. People grow. People learn. No one's perfect. But a lot of these women, they're getting their money. You know, why would Sexyy Red and a number of them are not changing? Because they're getting rich. They're getting marketed. They're getting collaborations with other artists. They're getting popular because of black people's obsession with them. So they keep pushing the button and getting worse and worse. Because that's what y'all love to push and put your energy into with those women. And the other women don't get to shine like them. And it's disgusting and effed up to me. And it's black people's fault. And I said it, and that's how I feel. Mainstream America, aka white America, I've been telling y'all this. They only follow who y'all push up. Whoever's popular with black people, the people and from their publication, their magazines and all that stuff, then they start looking, okay, this is what's up. This is who's popping in Black America. Okay, invite her to the MTV Awards. Give her a spot there and all that. Okay, we can make some good money off of her on the label. That's what they like. It ain't our people. If they want this image, go ahead. We just here for our money. And it's business at the end of the day. You know, it's going to take them to care to fix their own people. But some of them cannot be fixed. And that's just a reality that black people have to accept. Okay. I thank you all for joining me. Make sure you hit the like button and hit the notification button for, you'll know when I'm live and when I upload, when you hit the bell. Thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you again. Bye.